Yo, what is going on, people? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to start and scale your very own e-commerce brand. Whether you're a complete beginner and you're just looking for a little bit of side income, or if you're looking to escape your 9 to 5 and start a business and really want to know what it takes to build an e-commerce brand profitably and to scale it, then this video is right for you. Or maybe you've got an existing brand and you just want to scale it even further, you're still going to find some value in this. Now, I want you to fully focus in this video, so put your phone on silent, close all the tabs on your computer, and go shut your door in whatever room that you are in, because I'm going to share some things in this video that I've never shared online before. And time again, I see loads of misunderstandings around e-commerce and some things that beginners are constantly getting stuck on, and some misconceptions that people have about the business. So this is going to clear a few things up in this video. So fully focus with me over the next 20 to 30 minutes and let's go over what I've prepared. Look, I remember being that kid, confused, wanting to make money online. Everybody seems like they're killing it online and piecing the information together on YouTube. And while you can do that, sometimes you just need one full guide explaining it head to toe from someone who's actually been there and done it. I built my first e-commerce business back in 2019 and I started it, scaled it, and eventually sold the business. So here's what we're going to cover. Is running a business even right for you? I see time and time again, people want to dive into these business models, but the fact is, a lot of people are not set up to be business owners, and that's absolutely fine. You don't have to be a business owner. But as you know, there are many benefits. So we're going to go over some things that are going to really get that answer crystal clear for you, because sometimes people are wishing for things that they don't actually want to work for, and you don't want to be in that situation, right? And does e-com even work? Are people even making money with this? Can I even make money with this? How do you even make sales? I know this is a common thing. People see the Shopify stats, they see successful stores, but they don't understand how sales are actually made. And then we're going to cover, what do I even sell? And then how to start with a low budget and scale profitably. Look, I started e-commerce the hard way. I was initially buying product myself and shipping out the orders myself, but this was the stepping stone for me. But there are paths you can do with way less budget and way beginner friendly. So if you've only got a few $100s or a couple $1,000s to invest, that's going to be more than enough if you follow the steps that I've shown you in this video. So let's go over some of the pros and cons. Pros: unlimited scalability. Now, I cannot describe to you how powerful e-commerce is for scalability. Just think, 20 years ago, if you were to go and sell some products, you'd have had to go to your local market or your local town, and you're restricted to how many people walk past that market or town, right? You are limited to how many products you can sell, both physically, because you've got to actually pack the orders and give them to customers yourself and deal with the customers, but also you've got the challenges of having stock and having somewhere to sell it out of. So you'd have rent costs, staff costs, all these other costs, making it much more difficult to get into the business. But with e-commerce, you can scale it and you can sell worldwide. Just think, if you could only sell 2 products to every single town in your country per day, that's not a lot considering the amount of people there, but that's actually incredibly easy to scale. And the thing is about a Shopify business, it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never turns off, so you can scale it to the moon if you like. Now, you get the freedom to work wherever you like, and this is potentially, look, I'm going to go over 2 different methods of e-com. And one, you don't have to be there. It's going to be using 3PLs and someone's going to be shipping the orders for you, which is beginner friendly. However, what I did was I went and got an expensive office when I needed it. I had staff, distribution, and then I had the whole e-commerce side alongside it. And look, that's a lot of extra headache, but some businesses are going to need that. But you can do both, that's the truth. But one is going to give you the total freedom, and one is you're not going to get much freedom in the beginning, right? Now, you can earn more than a 9 to 5. This is, without any shadow of a doubt, 100% true. Because you've got the unlimited scalability, you're not tied to earning a certain amount. If you can scale with profitable ads, you can earn as much as you like, essentially. So you can earn way more than a 9 to 5 because you don't have to be there for the money. You're not swapping your time for the money. As I said, the shop works 24/7. Your landing page is like a salesman, or an advertisement is like your best salesman working for you 24 hours a day. And that content is easy to make, right? Now, you've got the potential to exit, sell the business. If you want to sell it like I did, sell my e-commerce business, you can sell it for multiples. So you can take the profit margin for the previous 12 months, and sometimes it's 1.3 to even 5x I've heard before. So you can actually sell your e-commerce business if you build a real brand. So the potential to do this is absolutely massive. It can be run in your free time. Look, You don't have to work 40 hours a week on an e-commerce business, because once you've set the ads, you don't have to touch it. You just have to see if it works or doesn't. It's not going to take this incredible amount of workload. It's actually quite easy to run. You can run it in your spare time, especially if we're choosing this beginner model, because someone's going to be shipping the orders on your behalf, so you can run it in your free time if you like. Now, this is the only business model where you can make sales within the first 24 hours. Now, I don't mean you can make a website, find the product, and make sales within 24 hours. Obviously, that stuff's going to take a little bit of building in the beginning, but if you set an ad live tonight, you can be making sales tomorrow. And whatever other business model you choose, that's just not a possibility anywhere else. So that is why I like e-com. And just to go over a few of the cons, because it's not all pros, believe me. No guaranteed income. So you are a business owner. You don't know if you're going to be profitable. You can make money and not be profitable. And there's no guarantee on how much money you will actually make. So if that doesn't really sit right with you and you prefer the security, maybe it's not right for you. But you do have to invest capital, right? I know you'll see a lot of these videos online of how to start a business with $0. And whilst those are good for clickbait, you have to put some money in, guys. You need money for the paid ads. But you only need a little bit of money. You can start with as little as $200. You don't need thousands to start. And you have to work more hours when it's needed. So you can work less than your job and you can run it in your free time. But when you need to step up and you've got stuff to do on your website, you can't just take a day off, right? You have to be responsible. You're going to have more responsibility and it's all on your shoulders. And you're going to have to take more risk. By risk, you're risking capital. But guys, everyone thinks that a couple thousand is risk capital, but let's just take the example that I discussed earlier. If you were to open a store 20 years ago, that's a lot more risk than it is today, you starting with a small budget. So a little risk in my opinion, but for some people that might sound risky, they might not be willing to do that. So how does e-com even work? Well, e-com just stands for electronic commerce. This means selling physical or digital products online. That's all it means. This type of e-commerce we're going to talk about in today's video is going to be selling physical products through Shopify. Although this same thing can work if you want to sell digital products also. Shopify leveled the playing field for beginners to sell products online. Because don't be mistaken, some of the biggest brands in the world, a few comes to mind, Gymshark, Fashion Nova, Skims, many more are on Shopify. And also a lot of beginners get started on Shopify. So the very exact same platform a lot of people are using now, because Shopify have made it easy for beginners to get involved, right? And it's never been easier than it is this year. Whilst you're watching this video, it's the best it's ever been. And Shopify is one of those brands that are just improving and improving customer service, improving your ability to make great websites and sell your products as much as you can. Because the more things that you sell, the more money that Shopify makes. Now, usually people can be thinking, well, this seems a little bit complicated, but if you've ever sold something on eBay, you've made money with e-commerce, you've made money online with e-commerce. And essentially, selling on Shopify is the same thing, right? You take better photos, you provide better customer service, you accept returns, you put more information in the description. It's the same principles as selling on a website. You're trying to add a digital value for the customer, and the more value that you can add, the more money you can sell that same product for. And you've probably heard of dropshipping before. This is where you are selling products and a third party is fulfilling the orders, meaning you don't have to ship anything, you don't need any warehousing, and you can be free to run it from wherever else in the world. But most importantly, you don't have to buy the product until you've made the sale. So you take the money first from the customer, and then you use that money to give it to the supplier, and then they ship it on your behalf. So essentially, it's like you're selling a digital product. You don't actually touch the products. Even with returns, you are not going to touch the product. Now, this is going to be a popular version of e-commerce for beginners starting with low capital, because you don't have to invest any money. You don't have to buy inventory, rent, staff, ship the orders yourself. And believe me, from experience, this is a headache, especially in the beginning, and this can be very, very expensive. When I moved into my office, well, my third office, I was paying £4,000 a month in rent, and believe me, you're going to have to sell a lot more products to cover that rent cost. So this is why dropshipping can be super fruitful for beginners, because you can avoid those costs and you can run your business without those costs. So this is how traditional e-commerce works. So step one, your customer places an order from your online store. Step two, your store receives the payment. Step three, you prepare your store's order for shipping yourself. And the step 4, you ship the order directly from yourself to the customer. This is traditional e-commerce. Now, this is how dropshipping works. So the same thing, your customer places an order from your online store. Step 2, your store receives payment, same thing. Step 3, you pay a third-party supplier for your order and they prepare the item. Step 4, your dropshipping supplier ships the item directly to your customer on your behalf. And look, this might sound complicated, it's really not. It is a click and drop website where you can get it done on autopilot. This can bring the costs way down and it can take a lot of the stress off of your hands. Now, you're still going to have problems like customer service, but you can use sites like Fiverr where you can just pay someone from the Philippines to run your customer service for your site, and you're actually paying them less than it would be in some of the top 5 nations like the UK and the US, for example. So you can actually outsource a lot of the work that you need once you begin to scale. But in the beginning, you can just do it yourself. You might have customer service take you 10-15 minutes a day, so it's really nothing, to be honest. But this is the difference between the dropshipping models. It's as simple as that. It's just the fulfillment method. So whether you hear someone talking about dropshipping or e-com, they're talking about the same thing. Dropshipping is just the fulfillment method, but they are both actual e-commerce businesses. Just to clear that up. I know a few people get lost on that. Look, I just want to touch on another thing. E-commerce is essentially flip life, right? You're putting a little bit of budget in, you're selling more products, you're advertising more, and you're getting into this cycle of growing the income. Now, you're probably watching this video and thinking, well, that sounds great. All that sounds good. That sounds like a very friendly, beginner-friendly model, right? But how do you even make sales? Well, it's never been easier to make sales. Why? Because everybody's spending all the time on these devices right here. They are on social media every single day and they are always shopping, and online shopping is more popular than ever, but we'll touch on that later. So there are only 2 paths to generate sales. You're going to have paid traffic and you're going to have organic traffic. Organic means free and paid means paid, believe it or not. Now, for your organic, you're going to have stuff like social media posts. So that might be Reels on Instagram or TikTok or whatever you're going to use, and you can have search engine optimization. Now, search engine optimization is a very powerful tactic for e-commerce, but that's going to be for the more advanced people because it takes a very long time to do it, and you only want to be doing that when you've got an established brand and it's worth putting the time in because it takes a very long time. But you can post on social media. If you've got a business now that you're running on social media, only a few weeks ago, a couple of my friends have run a social media page for around 12 months, posting reels every single day about a specific niche. And then they went and actually bought the products themselves and got a custom made product they'll then sell through e-commerce. But the power in that, they already had the audience there. And those guys did £27,000 in the first 24 hours in sales, all organic. Now, they did have to buy the inventory and it did take them a while to build the audience, but that is the power of organic social. Now, whatever anybody says, by far the best way to build an e-commerce brand is to start off with organic traffic and then add paid ads. Because what that's going to do is it's going to make your paid ads cheaper. That's what I did with my brand in the beginning, right? I started organically. I was not spending anything on paid ads. And I started with £200 and I built it up to close to £2 million in total sales. Most of that was done through e-commerce. But what I had was initially was I already had sales data, I already had customer data, and I already had an audience to sell the products to. So when I started putting money into paid ads, it was only a small chunk of my actual budget that I was already making. But you can run paid ads straight away, right? Your paid ads are going to be done through either Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or Snapchat, or any social media profile. Now, you're going to make advertisements showcasing the benefits of products using video and picture ads. You'll have seen some of these on your Facebook feed or Instagram feed. You've definitely seen advertisements. And this is how you're going to target your customers. If this is all sounding a little bit complicated, do not worry. You are not alone. Each of these platforms are actually very beginner friendly, especially this year. The truth is, it's never been easier to create a website, find a product, advertise, and actually sell products online. It is the easiest it's ever been. This is why you're seeing these kids making a lot of money, because they're just very in tune with the platforms and they know what works. But you can actually learn these skills yourself quite easily. Now, these are 4 simple steps to get your first sale made. So number 1, you want to find a product that's already working in the market. So look, we're not trying to invent a new thing. We're not trying to create a Nike brand out of nowhere. You're just trying to find something that's already selling in the market. And how do you know it's already selling? Well, you're looking for data points. So you're looking for other competitors selling a product. Maybe it's a seasonal product or it's a trending product, and you can actually find data points online to find out how much of that product is being sold on a daily basis. Because when a product is selling in the market and an advertiser is advertising, if you then advertise that product, you can take some of that market share. And this is how the game works. Now, if that competitor has got some areas that you can improve on, and you improve your e-commerce skills, and you can actually make ads working for that competitor, but make it from a different angle or improve what they're already doing, that is where you're going to make more sales. Do not think that things are saturated. If something is saturated, that means it is working. But the difference is with e-commerce, we are now selling on a global scale rather than just selling to individual people, right? Now, number 2 is you're going to make ads with your iPhone using content from the internet. So there's different ways that you can make advertisements, but they are all done on your mobile, right? And you might be thinking, well, I need to have a professional camera. I need to have a studio set up. I need to have these ads that you see on the TV. It's not like that anymore. You will notice that some of the biggest brands in the world are doing UGC content, and that stands for user-generated content, and it's filmed on iPhones. The reason why it works better on iPhones is because people are scrolling on social media and it feels more natural to the platform. So you can actually now compete with some of the biggest brands in the world shooting ads yourself on this device. And when you're using CapCut and Canva, both free editing softwares, you can actually create very high quality ads that can be insanely profitable with a little bit of creativity. Voice went a little bit there. Step number 3, we are going to test the products with a small budget on Facebook, around $50 to see if it's profitable or not. You're going to make a few variations of an ad, and you're going to put a small amount of budget around it on Facebook ads, and you're going to see if the ad is profitable. If the ad is profitable, you let it run for a few days, slowly increase the budget, and then you let the ad run and increase the budget for you to make sales continuously. If it's not profitable, you just turn the ads off and you've lost $50. It's as simple as that. Now, number 4, we're going to buy the product after you make the sale, right, from the third-party supplier, and they are going to ship it on your behalf. Easy as that. Now, a common myth about e-commerce, building a website is expensive. Guys, you can build a Shopify website for free, and it just costs $29 a month for hosting. And you can have a worldwide reach with that. It's incredibly powerful. There's no limits on how many sales you can make, and it is only $29. Just think how expensive it would be to open a shop 20 years ago, or even today. And you don't have any control over that traffic, but with e-commerce, you have control over the traffic. And that website can be seen worldwide. That is the power of e-commerce. And Shopify has made it easier than ever to create high converting websites with its drag and drop features. And it's got a wide range of pre-built themes. It's never been easier to make a high converting website. And the thing is about e-commerce, you can go to the market, see what's working for the big players, and implement those things onto your website. I call it borrowing like an expert. And if you do that and you take parts that are working from people that are already testing in the market, you can make some real serious money. Even as a beginner, you can design and add features onto the websites because it's a drag and drop feature. It's made for beginners to use. You'll be surprised how easy it is actually to use. You don't need thousands to build a website. Do not let anyone tell you that. People also think, well, won't people just go to Amazon? This is partly true, right? Some people are just going to prefer to go to Amazon, but the big difference between advertising on Facebook and something being on Amazon, the customer has to go onto Amazon and search that product. People are not browsing Amazon for the listings. They are searching specific products. Now, when you have a product that solves a problem, you can actually market that speaking directly to the customers through a much more visual method, which is going to be a video advertisement or a static picture ad. Now, you can add more information and creativity onto the landing page and the advertisement, speaking directly to that person's problem. Now, when you do this and you can add digital value, what you're going to find is you're convincing the customer through your advertisement, whereas Amazon do not do that. They are just relying on search-based selling. So customers are searching on Amazon. But with this, we're able to actually educate the customer on the product and the problem that it's solving, and then sell it to the customer through the advertisement. And you've got a chance at spiking some emotion, and you've got a chance at really fixing customers' problems, which is not really portrayed that way on Amazon. That is the big difference. Now, another common myth about e-commerce is e-com is saturated, dropshipping is dead, all these things. Are you telling me that online shopping is saturated? Newsflash, it's not. Online shopping is growing every single year by trillions. Year on year on year. Online shopping is not going anywhere. If anything, it is only going up and up and up. And this is not going to change. E-commerce is just online shopping. Online shopping is not changing. And if someone says something is saturated, saturation means that it's working. We're on the internet, everybody's trying to get a slice of the pie, but there's enough for everybody to eat. You order stuff online every single week, and so does everybody else, and that is the power of e-commerce. Now, I want to go over a few secret tips that you can use to get started. Now, just remember, it only takes one profitable ad to give you the capital to turn it into a massive business. You can start out with a very little amount of money, and then turn that money into a little bit more, reinvest a little bit more, and you can just grow and grow and grow and grow. And especially with this beginner-friendly model, you can now take the leverage of the third-party supplier to really scale without having to have the other costs included. Just sign up to Shopify and give building a website a go, right? Worst case scenario, you've wasted $29, but you've had a look. But when you get on there, you're going to see how easy it is to make a website, and that might make you change your mindset around things and look at it a little bit differently. But just get on there and have a go. The hardest bit is the first step. But if you just get on there, you try and figure it out. Worst case scenario, you've wasted $29. But if you're not willing to invest that, you're not going to have a business in anything, right? And you don't need to make ads. You can go to sites like Fiverr, Viral Ecom Ads. There are many, many other more where you can go and pay someone to make an advertisement for you, and you can get those ads. But you can also make them yourself, but you don't have to, right? There's so many options that you can use right now because there's so many e-commerce businesses. And another thing is, you don't need to quit your job to get started. You can run this as a side hustle. Again, it's not going to require 40 hours a week. Maybe there's going to be a little bit of time setting up the website in the beginning, but all you need to do is create content, advertise that content, see if it works, and that's it. You can even take a little bit part of your wage and invest that into the business and try to grow like that, and it's as simple as that. Most people think you need $10,000 and I need this office and I need all these things. You do not need any of that. Believe me, when I started, I was selling physical products myself and shipping them myself on eBay, and I did it out of my house, right? If you are choosing the beginner-friendly model of dropshipping, you don't even need to do that. All you need is an iPhone, a Shopify subscription, a laptop, a couple $100 for paid ads, and free softwares like CapCut and Canva. And it's as simple as that. You can start and scale a full business just with those things, right? The only physical items you need is a phone and a laptop. Now, how do you actually find products to sell? Well, it's as simple as seeing what's working for other people. As we mentioned before, e-commerce is a copy and paste business model. Go to the market and see what works. If you go on your social media feed, you will see hundreds of products that people are selling every single day. If you see a Facebook ad that has thousands of likes or comments and a lot of interaction in a short period of time, you are only able to get that on an advertisement if it's seen by a lot of people, right? And to get an ad seen by a lot of people, you've got to put a lot of budget behind it. And if a business is putting a lot of budget behind an ad, that means that the ad is working for them, meaning you've found yourself a profitable product. And then all you need to do is go onto the website, take that product, search it with your supplier, and then you can add that product to your website and start selling it. And it's as simple as that. You can model advertisements from them or other competitors, and you can start selling that ad yourself. Now, this is one of the biggest obstacles for people starting in e-commerce, and that is choosing a niche. A niche refers to the type of store you're going to have around the products that you are selling. Now, when you're in the beginning, if you name your website alexsbasketballs.com and you test a basketball and it doesn't work, then you're going to be stuck with alexsbasketballs.com, right? But you want to set your store name up that can be used for multiple things. Now, just think Harvey Nichols. Now, Harvey Nichols is a designer clothing store in the UK, but you could have Harvey Nichols on a website that was for a golf brand or swimming shorts or whatever it is. Harvey Nichols can go to both of those because it's quite broad. It's just a high classy sounding name. And this is how you want to build your website. You want to build something that can be changed. Then you can test a few products in a certain niche and you don't have to change the full structure of your website. This is a big common mistake for beginners. They make this fancy website around a certain niche. They think that first product's going to work. and when it doesn't, they're disappointed. But if you create a broad website or a name that can be added to multiple types of brands, that's where you're going to really get the legs to be able to change around and be quite diverse in your approach. Now, the aim of the store is to find a profitable product, and once you've found a profitable product, you are trying to scale it and build a brand around it, and this is where the real money is made, right? If you find a product that you've tested, let's say you've tested 5 different items in 5 different niches. If item number 4 is profitable and you're starting to scale that product, then what you might be looking to do is go get that product, get in touch with a private supplier, get a custom version made or make improvements to that product or the quality, buy it in bulk and go send it to a third party in whatever nations that you're shipping to. And it's going to be the same thing, that they're going to be shipping the product for you, only that time you have to pay for the inventory. But if you're making thousands and thousands and thousands in sales and you know that the market is working, you have got proof of concept to invest into the products. And this is the big key. Once you have the proof of concept, you have got the confidence to invest in the product. And then when you're making a custom product and making improvements to the product, that's where you've got the chance of building a real brand. But you're not relying on all of the risk capital to build a brand. You actually got proof of concept, which is going to be the most profitable thing that you can do. Now, building a brand, this is where things can start to get very, very interesting. Now, look at the Gymshark logo. You've probably heard of Gymshark, right? That actually started as a dropshipping brand. Most massive e-commerce brands started as dropshipping. The reason why they started with this business model is because when you're in the beginning, you've not got much capital to invest, you can't go buy thousands of units of clothing, right? So you've got to make do with what you have. And this is the similar sort of thing that I did. When I first started selling in e-commerce, I was selling shoes on eBay. I would list shoes from a store in the UK called Size, and I would list an eBay listing higher than the retail, and I would get a discount in store, and I would sell the product on eBay, then go buy it in store. And I did this for a while, but then the store started running out of stock and I got into a bit of a problem. But essentially, this is the same process, right? You're selling a product that someone else has, you're taking the money and then buying that product, and then you keep what's in between. Now, some people just want a side business, some people want a side income, and some people want to run a business in their spare time, and that's absolutely fine. You can do that. You can go replace your yearly wage, or you can go and just make a couple extra $1,000 a month if you want. But the high achievers that want to go build a brand and have the really strong work ethic, this is also a possibility. And the thing is with e-commerce brands, they can be sold multiplier or profit. So 1.5 to 3x, even 5x of its profitability for the previous year. Other factors like customer lists, how many customers have shopped on your store, your type of brand, these can all be taken into consideration when you're selling. But it leaves infinite possibilities to scale or leave for a nice exit like I did with my brand. Then you can have the opportunity to do what you want or start another e-commerce brand. Now, how do you actually scale? Now, once you have found proof of concept, i.e. a profitable product, scaling is surprisingly simple. Look, guys, I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm not going to make it sound super easy, but it's incredibly simple. There is a blueprint that you can follow, and you would be surprised how simple it is to go from 10 to 50K. You can implement a few conversion rate optimization tactics, add extra products with upsells, add email, SMS marketing, and this will allow you to spend more on ads profitably. Now, the aim of the game in e-commerce is to spend more money on advertisement. You will be shocked how much cash you can collect from every visitor once you get your site dialed in. Once it's a well-oiled machine, you can just feed it with ads. And then it's as simple as increasing the ad spend. And you might be thinking, well, I don't want to spend more on ads. Well, if you are profitable, the more money you spend on ads, the more money that you make. And if your unit economics stack up, you've essentially got a money printer. You just turn the advertisements up and you make more sales. And it can be as simple as that. So remember, I want you to remember this line. Just take a second and remember this line. The winners in e-commerce are those who can spend the most on ads profitably. The more you can spend on ads profitably, the more sales that you can make. I promise, going from 10 to 50K a month in revenue is not hard. Super simple. Anybody can do it. It's just that first little bit of proof of concept. That's where people quit. Now, how do you actually create ads? Now, if you look at this picture here, all the equipment and the lights and the camera guys and the $2,000 camera, all this is not needed in this year. What you'll see is brands like Loro Piana, super massive luxury brand that's been around for 100 years. Sell the most expensive clothing that you can buy. But if you go on their Instagram, they've got low engagement. Why have they got low engagement? The brand's not fallen off, but it's because their social media is not aligned with what people are consuming. Their social media is these high quality photos. So what this tells you is these high quality shoots that people are trying to do for the businesses actually performs worse than the content shot on your iPhone. And just think how much has that leveled off the playing field. You can make profitable ads that you can make tens of thousands of dollars from your phone for free. It is truly insane. You do not need any fancy equipment, studio, editing skills to make a highly profitable ad. You can do it with your phone, with a member of your family, or just yourself. The fact is, the biggest companies are still doing this. And you think, why? It's not native to the platform. And this is why young people are making money in e-commerce, because they are understanding what is native to the platform. And they are creating content for brands around that. Now, you can get super high quality ads done by influencers by sending them your products, and they will shoot an ad with your product and then send you the video. Or you can even order a sample yourself off Amazon or your supplier, and you can just shoot it from your phone. Now, how do you actually create ads? Well, this is a Facebook Ads 101. Never start from scratch. Just use different frameworks. You want to agitate a pain. So find a pain point that your product solves. Show that it solves it. Hook the customer. Educate them, sell them, attention, interest, desire, action. These are basic human tendencies that you want to be marketing towards. And when you do that, you're going to create attention-grabbing ads that convert into sales. Now, when it comes to running Facebook ads, the thing that you have to understand about Facebook ads is advertising on Facebook is known as interruption-based marketing. Now, this is because you are interrupting people scrolling on the platform. And remember when we talked about Amazon earlier? Amazon is for search-based traffic, and just like Amazon, Google is search-based traffic. So when people go onto Google to buy a product, they know exactly what they are buying. So if you've got a branded product, you're going to be advertising through Google, like I did. That's why I've spent £350,000 on Google Ads, because I was selling branded products. So you've got branded intent search. But with interruption-based marketing, you're able to create an advertisement and spike emotion and add value through an advertisement to the product. Facebook used to have incredibly complicated structures and targeting for advertisers, right? It wasn't good for beginners to use in 2017, 18, 19. Now, you would have needed an agency to run a business using Facebook. So I certainly used an agency in the beginning, because when I was running a business and having to run the ads myself, it was too difficult. And I actually used an agency for my Facebook ads. But you don't have to do this anymore. Facebook is so powerful now. It has so much data, and the Facebook AI will do the targeting for you. So you can do broad ads, because all the heavy lifting is done through the creative. So now it's a creative game. Now, guys, congratulations. We have gone through the A to Z of e-commerce. And look, there definitely are a few more things that you need to learn, but that is the basics of how the business works. If you're still watching at the end of this video, this business model might be right for you. Whether you want to replace the income from your job, start a business, build that brand you always wanted to do, or you've got an idea that you want to execute, hopefully this cleared something up for you. If you've got any questions, please leave a comment down below, and follow me on Instagram at TheoClough, TheoClough. Subscribe to the channel. Anything else I can help you guys with, give me a shout. All the best. If you need help on anything else, give me a shout. Look, there's going to be a video coming up right about here that's going to be a perfect watch for after this one, so make sure you click on that. Till next time.